Greetings, humanity. I've just had to adjusting my audio here, as we've had a few little audio mishaps going on. So I'm just making a couple of quick changes on the fly. Here we go. Welcome to Channel Other Doc. I'm Jim, and my pronouns are he, him. And this is The Outer Veil, one of the story arcs in our Waking Nightmares campaign of Don't Rest Your Head, a game by Fred Hicks of Evil Hat Productions. This is a supernatural horror game in which the Insomniac characters have been awake for so long they've developed strange abilities and can freely interact with a realm of living nightmares. As you can see, we once again have a guest with us, and we will be getting into that shortly. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and go around and say hi to everyone, find out who they are and who they are playing. Yes, unfortunately, Ace could not be with us today. I believe they are in the chat. Hi. Owing to real life. But we're going to go ahead and go around and say hi to those of us who are here and find out once again who they are and who they are playing. And we will start with Krimsin. Hello. Hey, so just so you'll know, it looks as though we're having a slight... Yeah, I do apologize. I'm trying to just make this work. But the audio just pinged out on me on Zoom for a second. So let me just check real quick. Could you say hello again for us real quick?
Hello.
Ah, there it is.
There we go.
I do apologize, folks. My audio setup just sort of went in 19 different directions just before we started. I am so sorry, but unfortunately they could not hear you. Please, if you would not mind terribly, let us know who you are and who you're playing.
Hey y'all, again, it's Crimsin Galaxy. That's Krimsin, because I'm not me without a little bit of sin. My pronouns are they, them, she, and they, and today I am playing Katrina Wales, the homeless musician who has awoken to this unsleeping city. She's very concerned about how gavilant and cavalier Tyler is about how serious the situation is. We'll see if that comes into play.
Oh, I'm sure we'll be fine. Awesome. Okay, well, let us go ahead. Speaking of Tyler, let us head on over to Shade. Hello.
Hey guys, I'm Shade. I'll be playing Tyler, an ex-banker who used to live in a very dark world. At least this is how he saw it. And now he's on an adventure in a dream where some amazing stuff keeps happening. And hey, he kind of starts liking it here.
Yes, I'm sure that's not a sign of anything bad. I'm sure that's absolutely fine. Now let us head over to Cassa. Hello.
Hi, I'm Cassa. I am playing the journalist of the group, Tamsin Zhao. She just wants to get the story and explore the Mad City for all that it's worth. So we'll see what kind of trouble she gets herself into with her friends.
Excellent. And now let us head over to our guest, Sara. Hello.
Hello, I am Sara. I use she, her pronouns. Tonight I am playing your nightmare, Isabel Grant, who also uses she, her pronouns. She's a newly minted nightmare, coming over from the other alpha arc. And I don't know what Jim wants me to reveal about her. She's 19 and stupid. That's all I know.
Yes, well, we'll see the things that happen. We'll see the thing. I feel as though things will unfurl. I don't know if folks have seen the other show or not, but we'll see what happens. But yes, this is our first honest to goodness crossover.
Yay!
So I think this is going to be quite interesting. But before we get rolling, just as a reminder, and folks who are listening, do let us know if there's anything weird happens with the audio. This is one of those weeks where things are all over the place. But just let us know in chat if anything odd comes up, things too loud, things too quiet. But like we do with the other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or hold up a card, make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it, or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that, again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anybody needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game has the potential for discussions of physical and mental debilitation, insomnia, death, law enforcement, nightmares, body horror, being stalked and chased by supernatural beings, and other horrific themes. The game has mechanics related to states arising from sleep deprivation, referred to in-game as exhaustion, madness, scars, and fight-or-flight responses, but places the expressions of those states squarely in the hands of the players. If you want to see that at any time in the chat, you can type !DRYHCW. That's Don't Rest Your Head, content warning. And that will come up. That's also going to show up regularly on rotation. Now, let's see. Also, as a reminder, we have an open door policy, which means any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It is just a game, and mental health is always more important. Now, let us see. We are about to enter the subway. And so I'm going to go ahead and bring up the necessary track for that in just a moment. But we've had an interesting time. Our group recently was in the Necropolis, where they were looking for something. They were looking for a clock. That's right. They were looking for a clock. They were going to steal from the. They were going to take from the mortician, as it turned out.
Because stealing from some of the most powerful people in a nightmare city isn't a terrible idea.
No, not at all. I'm sure it's fine. Absolutely no consequences for anything like that. But so they were going to do that because the crone sort of had told a nightmare known as the Shadow Crone had told Katrina that they do that, then they'll find an exit for them. But they've decided to turn away from this deal, and instead, after a conversation with a nightmare known as the Stranger, have decided to seek refuge in the Market District. They made their way out of the Necropolis with a large, very fast funeral procession on their heels. They evaded the procession. They made their way out and found their way back to the Garden District, where it turns out some of the vegetables were not too pleased with them for some reason. And as they were making their way to the subway entrance, they were attacked by a very large cabbage, who came rolling at them, and they managed just to dive out of the way just as it hit their vehicle, which they had dived out of. And they have since found themselves running for the subway entrance to try to find a way out. And it is recently turned midnight. Well, I say midnight, 12, because this is a city that has 13 hours and no night or day. So just turned 12. And so they're going to descend into the subway to see what they find. Now, you folks are running down the stairs. Find that it's again the wooden motif continues. As you are heading down into this subway, there's a series of these revolving gates that you have to go through at the bottom that don't seem to be attached to anything. You don't have to put in any coins or anything, but it's these wooden areas with these gates that just sort of flip back and forth. These sort of doors. And as you run through and come out on the other side, you will note that for whatever reason, Cal is not with you.
Where'd they go?
Hey guys. Should we go back?
Weren't they right there? I swear.
They were like right behind us, I thought.
Carl.
Is this like an
Hey.
open area?
So ahead of you, you will see that there is, you've got sort of brown tiles on the floor stretching out from where you are into this sort of subterranean area. And some wooden stalls that are set up. It looks like there's this kind of odd sort of farmer's market-like thing going on down here. Several wooden stalls are set up for people selling vegetables, or possibly vegetables selling vegetables. And it looks as though, as you're sort of looking around, you can see that there are, it's pretty big. It looks like it goes out in a couple, the hallway just basically goes out in a couple of directions. So the subway isn't here immediately. You'll probably have to, go through the hallways to try to find it. But I will say that anyone who is looking back, is anybody sort of trying to look back through the gate as you're looking for Cal?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You do see some very large carrots appear at the top of the stairs. As they're running into view, these big broad carrots with very healthy green manes coming out. They're just sort of looking. You can see them really in silhouette. They're looking around, and you see them start to head down the stairs. These large anthropomorphic carrots. They have not spotted you yet, but they are coming.
We should probably move. They're probably after you, right?
I'm sure Ace will be fine. Not Ace. What was her name? Cal. Yeah,
Cal.
I'm sure Cal will be fine. Don't they have the card for the stranger? So if they're ever in trouble, they can just.
True.
They're safer than us.
She probably just woke up. That's well,
So should we run in, try to hide from them?
Yeah, I think we need to just move. I don't want them catching up to us.
they don't look very friendly. I agree.
Yeah. They look pretty angry for some reason. I glance a little bit over towards Cassa.
Why do we forget each other's names?
Tamsin.
Tamsin.
Yeah.
Oh.
Half of us put our names first, and my bad.
That's probably because Cal smashed the cabbage with the chariot. That must be.
It seemed like they were coming after us before that, right?
It did seem that way. Heck,
It couldn't be because I took the juice, could it?
I mean,
carrot juice?
it's possible. I'm not sure personally, but Let's hop on this train before they get any closer to us.
All right,
Well,
fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be
Can
the
we
wings are
try
giving you
to
away a little bit.
Yeah. Are there like people, or
Yeah, there are people
other-
moving back and forth. You did have to pull your wings in a little bit to get through the gate. And so it's one of those
I'll
things
be
where
like, oh, sorry.
it's like you kind of, you're
Sorry.
bumping into people with them a little bit. The sort of atmosphere around is people are kind of sort of giving you a little bit of a look, but it's, you know, there are also very strange looking people down here as well.
So we can kind of like hide in the crowd.
You can try to hide in the crowd, yeah, absolutely. As you're kind of dashing through there, yeah, there are folks passing back and forth, buying vegetables, not fully realized vegetables, just the ordinary dumb vegetables that one can find on the ground, growing out of it, where people have planted them. I know where vegetables come from, I think. Anyway, so yeah, you see that. Yeah, you're gonna try to get away from these enraged carrots that are following you, sort of losing yourself in the crowd, trying to find your way to the train, and so I believe let me see. These are thugs led by a lieutenant. A couple of thugs led by a lieutenant. So the pain is going to be 5. To try to lose yourself in the crowd, away from these things. And so I think the question is, who's leading? It was Tamsin's idea, so I'm assuming Tamsin's leading, but if someone else wishes to, you may.
I mean, even the skill set, like from what we've demonstrated so far, I think Tamsin is the most apt at this skill set.
I would like.
Tyler,
Yeah.
Tyler has no idea where we're going, so yeah.
There.
I'm gonna say maybe we should make this a little easier, and I'll grab both of your hands and then go invisible.
Yeah, going invisible is probably going to help a lot.
Yeah.
Especially, you know, that's the thing is, you know, if they're looking for a person with wings, so that's a thing. So yeah, so turning everyone. Let's see. How invisible do you want
at
everyone
least
to be?
5, right? Well, not. It doesn't have to be super because there's a bunch of people as well and
Okay.
whatever. I just want to get rid of the idea of the wings
Yeah.
and then
So
like
covering mostly the wings, and then just blending in with the crowd. That's going to be a 3 or a 4. I want to say probably is the minimum number of madness you'll need to roll for that. If anyone wishes to help, once again, of course, you may do so with your discipline, but keep in mind
will.
the consequences fall upon you as well.
Yeah, I'm cool with consequences.
Okay, fine. I'll join.
I'll do 5 just to be safe.
Okay.
Think about it. Oh no. Oh no.
So far, we have 2
No success.
2, 3,
Oh,
4
is it?
successes. You remember, you've got 2 successes of madness, and
Yeah.
Tyler got 2. Did Katrina?
I
get
got
any
1 additional as
successes?
well.
Discipline? Okay. So you've got 5 successes. I'm gonna roll my pain. And I got no successes. Let me see here. I think pain might be dominating. Yep, looks like it. So I'm going to get another coin of despair. So you're going to be successful, but it will be painful in some fashion. So as you are kind of dashing around, fighting, sort of just kind of trying to insinuate yourself with the crowd, you see these vegetable mobsters run down, basically, and they are looking around, and they don't seem to see you all. But you realize you do need to keep moving in order to make it work. So you're going to find yourselves at a point where you sort of move along with the crowd for a little while, because it takes a little time to lose these big veggies. Eventually, you found yourself sort of carried over to a point where you can finally take a breather after a little while. That is kind of at a weird sort of intersection where you have some tunnels going in that look like they're more tunnels with pipes on them. A lot of pipes inside the tunnel. Looks a little bit more like a sewer tunnel, potentially, but cleaner than a sewer tunnel. And then you find also basically a couple of other ways going down that are tiled, and it's and you see this again. This pipe also goes in a couple of directions, so it's hard to say exactly where you are at this point. You are outside of the little underground farmers market, though.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no other people going
There are
around?
other people milling back and forth, but it's not as many as there were.
Okay, Tamsin, where we go?
Oh, we need to get the pull out the map. Blue line to get to the market.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I'm looking, trying to find any like blue light signs, anything like that.
So you're kind of glancing around. Is it too early? Is it too early to do this? Nah, why not? So I think someone is going to approach, seeing you kind of looking around, trying to figure out where you are. Possibly multiple someones, I don't know yet, because it's really up to Sara. What do they see?
They see 3 identical looking blonde young women. Absolutely perfect beach curl hair with like the super right shade of red lipstick and winged eyeliner. Like all 3 of them look identical and just absolutely perfect. And they walk out of the crowd and like to get together in complete unison. It's kind of eerie, actually, how like in sync they are. And they come up to you and say, "Are you looking for something?"
Oh, hi.
Hello. Yeah, we're just looking for the blue line. We're planning on taking off down to the Market District and getting some coffee over at Denny's.
Oh, the blue line. That's over here. And they all 3 of them point in the direction of wherever the blue line is. The
Oh,
Market District sounds fun.
thanks a lot.
Yeah, that's what we heard. Like, if the clock strikes 13, that's one of the better places to be.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we've heard that as well.
Are you all talking at the same time, or is it just one?
Is it in unison?
Yeah, actually, it's completely in unison. They sound like one voice, but all 3 mouths are moving.
So I'm just looking at all of them like, yeah. Have you never been?
Not all of us.
You're okay. That's interesting.
Are you local?
Not all of us.
Huh.
Some of us more recently than others.
Okay.
Huh.
All right.
This place, Tamsin, what's the name?
Where are we going now?
Yeah.
The Market District.
Yeah, but like this
Denny's.
cafe place?
Denny's.
Denny's. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we heard that the drinks there are pretty good. Wanna drink?
Yeah, they are pretty good there.
Well, anyway, guys.
Especially the coffee.
Yeah.
Are you doing anything right now?
Talking to you.
So we're not taking up your time or anything?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Because I would love to, ask.
I'm gonna lean into Tamsin and be like, energy here is really weird.
I don't know if that's a nice thing to say about someone we just met, but everything's weird here, right? It can't hurt to get just a few more heads and eyes looking around. We might as well invite them. Hey, did we catch your names?
We're Isabel.
Isabel.
Hey,
That's
nice to meet
a
you.
lovely name.
Nice to meet you,
Tyler.
Isabel.
Yeah.
Me too. Hi, Tyler.
What do you think we need to be on the watch out here? Like, what do you think we need to be watching out for?
Why do you always think that we need to be on watch out for something? Oh,
Because that's life. You should always be watching out.
right. Sorry for the bad vibes from my friend.
Well, I think they mostly frequent the rooftops, but you see some kids on bicycles. You should probably run the other way,
Kids.
especially if they're made out of paper.
Oh, I think I saw some of them. When I was up on the buildings,
Oh, yeah?
they were chasing me.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
And there was like this camera. Someone was trying to take a picture of me.
Mm-hmm. That's their MO. Yeah. Don't let them take your picture.
Okay.
Why not?
You'll, let's say, become the main character in one of their stories.
Isn't it
I
good?
thought no press was bad press, though.
Not down here necessarily.
Good to know. Thank you.
Okay, guys, maybe we should all head out to dance? What do you think?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Isabel, if you're free, we can go together.
Absolutely. That sounds fun. And you hear like fun kind of echo throughout all three of them.
Oh, so you're all joining. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
This way, then blue line.
Yeah. So, what's your deal? How long have you been hanging out?
As you get on the train, you notice that there's now only one Isabel following you. They do that sometimes, don't worry. And they'll come back, I guess, maybe later.
Kind of lost somebody as well, so I guess
Oh,
it just
no.
happens here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. I was lost for a few days as well, and then I found something. Yeah.
Okay.
And I hand them, I hand Katrina is one of the business cards that Isabel has manufactured for herself.
Yeah.
And it just says Isabel, ISOBEL in silver embossing. And on the back, it says the Society of Angles.
Society of Angles? What's that?
Where you can be your best self.
I mean,
You have to be in a society to be your best self.
We can help you be your best self.
No, is it some
You
sort of a self-help group?
Pyramid scheme.
let's not judge like that yet.
Just
Like,
curious.
how,
Sorry.
what if I'm already being my best self? What if I've already got that in the bag?
Then you wouldn't join, Katrina.
Guess not.
If you're already your best self, you would not join, but you can always be better.
I mean, for me personally, I feel like the way that we get better is by learning from our mistakes and continuing to grow based on the experiences that we accumulate. So, like, if we are already on that journey of being better than we were previously, then how can we be better than that?
Yeah. What's your approach, Isabel? How do you make people better?
Yeah.
The train rumbles
What's your...
forward. You're going to see sort of lights going past back and forth, and it starts to accelerate. There aren't a huge number of people in this car with you, but they're just sort of sullenly, most of the ones are in here just sort of sullenly have their heads down. So they're just sort of going back and forth. Sorry, go ahead.
Isabel's face kind of flickers, and for a brief moment, Katrina, you see yourself reflected in Isabel, and then she goes back to her own self.
All right.
And says, "The society has many ways. It can help you."
I appreciate the offer. I'll think about it.
Wait,
Excellent. That's all we ask.
were we invited already? Oh, wow, that was quick.
I produced a business card for Tyler and Tamsin as well.
Oh, thank you.
And there's a little number in the back corner that you can call.
Where is another one? Okay.
Yeah.
Look at
I
that.
kind of gave up trying to be better. I mean, anything times 0 is just still 0.
Zero.
So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Just real quick again, what did you say that was called?
The Society of Angles.
Cool. I wanted to write it down.
Come on, Tamsin. You have freaking wings.
Yeah, that at least puts your base number up to 1. If we're going by my standards, that at least gets you anything times 1. Those wings are pretty cool.
Thanks. I'm just getting used to them, I guess. They're a bit uncomfortable, but I can
Yeah,
fly.
apparently, that's super cool that you can fly. Apparently, Blue Bull gives you wings. So, like, if you find someone selling some, you can have some too.
All right, I will keep that in mind.
The
Maybe
train.
they have like antennas.
The train is sort of rumbling through, and you see it passing through a station where it looks kind of like a medieval torture chamber, except if a medieval torture chamber were a subway station. There's a lot of kind of just sort of a lot of chairs with spikes of various types sort of on them, and there's a lot of sort of metalwork down here and stone as it's sort of rumbling through, and the train slows down, and you see that people are getting on and off. That a couple of the folks who had their heads hung sullenly are getting off for the train, and you see someone wearing red robes that looks like they're a member of the Spanish Inquisition gets on the train, and just sort of sits at sort of nods to you all and sits at the far end of the car.
That is disconcerting.
Are there things on the walls of the train? Like, is there a map, like with the station names, or like posters, or is it like just clean?
So it looks as though there are mostly ads down here. There are some. It looks like there. It's funny, when you got on the train, I should specify. It seemed as though there were some electronic billboard-like ads. Billboard, I say. They're like little screens that had ads going by for different things. And those have sort of shorted out, it looks like, at this point. Because you saw things playing on them, and then it's like they're static a little bit. And that's kind of all you see on them right now.
Okay, guys, how many stops over there? I think it was one stop. No?
Yeah.
One stop on the blue line?
Well, I'm looking at the map. We were in the garden district, then we have to go through the shadow, the grid, and then we'll get to the market district. But I don't know
Right.
how many stops are in each district.
Oh,
I assume one.
It
right?
might just be
I don't know.
one. It doesn't seem
But it
like
could be
a
a
super
big
big
dis-
city.
Yeah.
Train starts moving again, and it goes into darkness. And then, when it emerges, there's another station that's very much like the one you just saw. The Inquisition-looking cardinal gets up and gets off the train. And no one else is getting on at this point. It's pretty much just like the four of you and a couple of other folks that are just sort of hanging out. Isn't I?
Thank you. Sorry.
No worries.
I'm gonna stand in where the doors are open and just kind of look around.
So
It looks the same as the torture.
it looks very similar. Yeah, it's slightly different. There's a newsstand, and it looks as though there's someone out collecting alms. Someone wearing a priest's getup. Again, the walls of this station very made of stone, that you can see, and then the doors shut, and the train begins to accelerate once again.
I wanna ask somebody around, like how many stops there are. Who's close by?
So towards the end of the car, you have a couple of people still on the train. Let's see. One of them looks kind of like just they're sitting there with a backpack and just kind of listening to headphones. The other one appears to be made of sandpaper, sort of sitting across from them. It's like they are. It's kind of like the paper boys, only this is sandpaper and this is an adult-sized person. And so it's
Get into the.
sort of brownish, grayish, rough surfaces all over, both skin and clothing and hair made of sandpaper.
I'm getting to the sandpaper man, and hello, buddy. Sorry to disturb. We are going to the market district. What?
Are you now?
Sorry?
Market.
The market district.
Going to market, you're going to want to change trains.
Oh, right. That's what I wanted to ask. Where? How many stops we need to wait?
There should be, at this next stop, there should be... And then the train judders a bit. It just sort of is like... And the sandpaper man reaches up a hand for a moment to try to steady themselves. And if you don't move out of the way fast enough, he's gonna kind of grab your arm for a second to steady themselves.
Yeah, trying to like.
Yeah, it's like he's gonna get something like, and he sort of stumbles a bit, like he's trying to stand back up. And person with the headphones is still just sort of bopping across from this. The train just sort of rumbles slower and slower as there's this sort of like back and forth, this kind of... They haven't cleared this tunnel yet. And there's a lot of...
Okay, so we gotta get out at the next stop, right? That's what you said.
If we're in the same place, yes, the tunnel might not have stabilized.
What's up is the tunnel?
It's a new subway, innit? He gets up. New tunnels. They could lead anywhere. They don't stabilize them first. Usually takes a few days, just about a week or two before things set. Provided one of the big players aren't doing something. You look alright. You look a little spooked.
Spooked? They're just all this rumbling noise. Alright.
It's gonna be alright. You're gonna be just reaching out to try to reassure you, the sandpaper individual.
Yeah. I'm backing off, turn away, and
the
getting back.
the train jolts again, much harder this time, and everyone's kind of like shaken back and forth. The sandpaper man is vaulted forward toward you and kind of grabs you around the waist by accident, and it's like it's sort of tearing at your clothes a little bit. And, hasn't broken through, but
careful, buddy.
Like,
just careful, easy.
Sorry. All right, hang on. And he's sort of trying to clamber his way back up, and the train sort of slows and slows and slows.
Jesus Christ.
Until it comes to a halt. And there's some light shining through, but it seems as though the train is probably still at least partially in the tunnel. And you hear this voice. It kind of comes up from the speakers. And by this line is temporarily out of service, it seems that they're just having to clear the line and set it up. Not quite ready yet. It should be about 75 minutes. We'll probably have this cleared out. You're free to either wait inside the car or depart if you wish. It does seem as though... Oh, look at that big... And there's another rumble as the front of the train is like... It's like, you're not in the front car. I need to specify this. You're not in the front car. But you hear, like, very distantly, it's like metal twisting and tearing from way far ahead of you.
Maybe we should go out here.
Oh, gosh. We should probably take off, huh, Tamsin? Just like,
What do you think that
75 minutes is too long. We can't wait that long.
Wait, you didn't hear that whole metal thing?
Oh, yeah, I hear it. It sounds like something's tearing apart the front of the train, but I don't know what we can do about that.
Another moment, you hear again another couple of loud clangs and jolts, and the train slowly starts moving forward. And you can hear that sort of sound, though, which is the weird thing is you hear the sound below you as though brakes are being applied. So you hear this as the train slides forward.
All the doors are still closed?
The doors are still currently closed.
So...
I turn to Isabel and ask, has this happened before? Have you been on this when it's happened like this? Is this common?
You know, the trains around here are super unreliable, and that sound coming from the front of the train sounds familiar and not necessarily good.
Yeah, I can tell that just from the sound of it.
You can starting to see as the train pulls forward slowly. And it's weird because the train pulls forward and then it stops. And then you hear another clang. It sounds a little closer and the train pulls forward again. And you hear more crunching metal. And you can start to see light flickering. more light
Okay.
flickering as you're looking at a slightly more open area on one end of the car, on the front end of the car. And you're going to see that it's more sort of metal grills, but then you see these sort of blue tiles. But then they're the blue and green tiles, but they're lit with this what looks like there's firelight of some kind coming off of them. You don't see a fire, but you see it's like reflected firelight. It's you're sort of craning. This is the part of the station that you're seeing. You can see what looks like there's supposed to be. It looks like there are kind of like tiled kids drawings on the far wall, which is weird. A lot of sort of metal up in here, and as far as metal structures for that looks kind of like a subway station, and so you can't quite see what's in front of the train, and you can't see a lot of the station from here yet.
All right. I think what we need to do right now, we need to get ready. We need to get the side door open immediately, and as soon as it pulls us through, we need to dip. We need to run. I don't know what that is, but it can't be good.
Sounds like a good plan. Can I try to tune to this sound in front?
Yes, you certainly can. Let me take a look at something really quickly so that I can tell you how much pain that is. Let's see. Oh, this is a pain of 8. This is a pain of 8.
Big one.
So remember, you can, if you wish, you can increase your exhaustion before you roll. And you're going to need at least, let's see, your madness. What are you trying to tune into here? What are you trying to hear?
I'm trying to understand the source of this sound. What is it?
You just want to know where the sound is coming from, right? That's
what is it? What makes it sound?
What is it? What is making... How detailed of information do you want about what is making the sound?
Approximately the thing or the creature and how dangerous it is, and maybe, that's basically it.
Okay, so you want just sort of more not like a full encyclopedia entry per se, but at least just a quick little description is probably what you're looking for.
Exactly.
So, and again, this will be through the lens of coming entropy. So we're going to go with, you're going to need to roll about, this shouldn't actually be that hard, so you're going to need to roll a minimum of 2 madness dice. You may, of course, roll more if you wish.
Okay. I'll go with 4 madness dice.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Well, I'm going to roll my 8 pain now. I got 4 successes. You got 2 successes. So a couple of things are happening. Let me see what's dominating.
Oh, no.
Pain is dominating, but also I won the roll, so I get to... so I'll go ahead and take the despair token, but I get to inflict an additional thing on you. How are we... Tyler, how are you for exhaustion, and how are you for madness right now? That's for exhaustion, and how are you for... what's your exhaustion right now?
Exhaustion is 3.
Exhaustion is 3. And what do you have checked off right now?
I have 1 checked off response.
Okay. I think we're going to... I think I'm going to have you... I think I'm going to have you add 1 more exhaustion to this. Potentially, yes. As you're sort of trying to figure this out, and it's very tiring. You're on your feet, you're trying to do this. and you're finally getting something. And here's what you're getting. This signal, this thing that's echoing back, and you're looking at dense, burrowing future as a thing tries to work its way toward the center of the city. A massive beast made of metal. And you get this sort of in your ear. You hear this part of a conversation, and conversation goes, "How many of the train eaters we got out there right now?" "Oh, I don't know, something like half a dozen, something along those lines. That's what they told me, at least." And you recognize that second voice, by the way. The first voice, once again, "All right, so no, seriously, Mr. Sphinx, are you sure we should be putting more out there? Because they're going to do their job. There's only so much before the Wax King's going to find out what we're doing." "Well, by then it'll probably be a bit too late, won't it? How's the big one doing?" "Oh, I think he's going to be pretty good, sir. I think he's going to be pretty good. The other ones is herding things to him, and he's munching on him out kind of. He's picked a spot near the outskirts where he's sort of reaching in and grabbing stuff." "Excellent. Two birds with one stone, eh? New subway system, and if we can get further into the territory, be good there as well. It'll be good there as well." Yes, sir. I definitely think so. We need more coal. Yeah. And that's what you hear. As
I
again,
recognize the second voice.
Yep. Second voice is the guy in the Victorian clothing you spoke to briefly in the Garden District when you got here.
Right.
And you can hear his voice once again saying, "I see the emptiness in you. And you're gonna have an opportunity soon. You best take it." And you pull it out.
Yeah, I pull it out.
Yeah.
Guys, I think that something big and metal is eating this train, so we probably get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I was thinking that was already my plan. Let's find something to get this door open.
All right. Well, you have farm implements unless you let them go.
Oh yeah, totally. I think I actually found like something else. Was it like an axe?
Yeah, you've got an axe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and take that axe and bust the window, then try to get some leverage on the broken window to open the door.
Okay, cool. So this shouldn't be too terribly difficult, since you two have come equipped, and you're trying to get through as it pulls out, and you can start to see more of the station or what's left of it. And so I think this is just going to be a pain of, we're going to set a pain of 3. This feels like, yeah, under the circumstances, there is a bit of stress. So yeah, we're going to set it at 3.
All right, I'm not even going to spend any madness because right now I have 6 dice I can roll without that.
Okay.
And I'm just going to try with that. And that is not a great roll. 2 successes. And discipline is dominating.
Okay, and so you were just rolling discipline and exhaustion?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see.
Or wait, no, it's exhaustion that's dominating,
is it?
not discipline. That's my bad.
What are your dice in exhaustion right now?
554.
Oh, okay. Wait, 554? Okay.
Yeah.
So right now pain is
So
actually
pain
dominating.
is
because I've
dominating,
got a
yeah.
6. So yeah, you are you're gonna be successful. I'm gonna go ahead and take another coin of despair. So as you are sort of break through this, you're starting to break through this window. You're kind of reaching over to get leverage on the door, and you're able to. What does this look like as you're breaking the door open?
Like I said, first things first, I would smash the window with the axe, just bust it open, and then use the edge of the axe to rattle around to clear the glass out of there. That way I wouldn't cut myself on it, and then just use the sleeves of my jacket to start pushing in where the glass is over to the side until I can get enough space to get my hand on the side of the door to start to force the entire door over.
Okay, so this is mostly successful. However, the handle of the axe the head of the axe comes off on your last blow. And so the axe itself is no longer going to work so well. You're able to get most of the glass off, regardless, and sort of using your sleeve. There may be a couple of tiny cuts, possibly, as you're sort of coming through. So you're able to pull and shove the door. You've got a really good view of the interior of this station. It looks as though, if it can be called a station, it doesn't have immediate above ground access at this point. But it's sort of blue and green tiles, which gives way to basically it looks as though the platform has been torn away. And it sort of reaches over, and the platform reaches over, and sort of beyond there's this metal gate that leads to sort of a white tiled area behind it. And in front of it, a place where it is torn away, you can see fire coming up a little bit. And you see this basically, as you kind of lean out, you see that the front of the train, and everyone feels things jostling as it's pulled forward, and the front of the car just in front of you is yanked away by this creature that has hollowed out this area near the tunnels. It is big. It is about the size of a house. You think probably you can see the upper part of it. If the upper part of it is to be judged as anything, it's like someone took a giant piece of construction equipment and turned it into a person. And you see it's kind of got this big metal claw that comes forward and pulls and yanks, as kind of two of them, and has this big jaw that comes around. It looks like
terrifying.
Yeah,
I agree.
Types of construction equipment. It looks like kind of a steam shovel, basically, in a way. It's kind of like a steam shovel was turned into a giant person, and it's tearing away bits of train and eating it. Its big jaws, with these sort of weird arms that are reaching forward, these mechanical arms. And you see it's currently eating the car that was right in front of you. Until a few seconds ago. The door is open, however. What would you all like to do?
Let's run. Isabel, you good? You coming?
I'm coming. And she stands up and runs after you. There's still only one of her.
Yeah.
Also running.
And
Jumping out.
As well.
Run fast.
Like running on the way.
Think of
Wow.
Sonic the Hedgehog's speed, and that's not fast enough.
Someone is hungry. Anyway,
Yeah. You all see this creature as you're sort of running past.
Wow.
It is going to see as you're running for the gate area. It's kind of got a turnstile gate that requires going in and pushing a bit. Isabel, you know about this type of gate. This station looks kind of familiar.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah. Looks very similar. Looks very familiar. Except it's no longer quite what it was. But yeah, this looks very similar. It could be the same place. But this creature is reaching forward to try to catch one of you, any of you it can get, as it sees you coming forward. It's like, so I just need to know if there's anything in particular we're doing right now aside from running for the gate. Is there?
No, I think it's pretty much beeline.
I would just duck down, I guess. People tries to reach us. Something like that.
I think
Yeah.
I feel like Tamsin would be really curious. So I don't know, like, is it just the monster? Like, I think she would kind of just slow just a little bit and try to see if the monster was controlled by someone, if there's like people telling it what to do, or if it's just on its own.
It's just a monster.
Yeah.
Everything's fine.
So it looks cool. She takes out her like notepad and just starts like trying to write down.
Beyond good, beyond evil, a hunger it can't control.
So it sounds to me like
so,
we've got three different things going on. If I'm correct about this, we have Katrina is running for the gate. Tyler is trying to kind of pull back and lie down and stay out of its reach. And Tamsin is getting closer to study it.
I'm just.
well, I'm not getting closer. I just wanted to.
Or just sort of stopping to study it, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything Isabel's doing right now that I need to know about?
She's running for the gate as well.
Okay.
She's been here before.
Yeah. Okay.
Can we tell if Isabel seems like she's recognizes this kind of stuff?
Isabel, when she follows Katrina out of the subway car, she looks at the creature, kind of blanches at it, like gets this look on her face and makes a beeline for following Katrina. She doesn't stop. She doesn't look back. So you kind of get the sense that she at least wants to run away from this.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that what we'll do is I am going to have Katrina roll to try to escape this thing. And I think, yeah, honestly, I think what we'll do, let me see here how to figuring out. Tyler is presenting a secondary target in some way or trying to make himself. So I guess we can go off of that same roll. Tyler can help with this roll if you want to do it that way. Because you're also presumably trying to... Tyler, are you still also trying to make your way to the exit? Or are you just going to stay still? Okay. You're also trying to get to the exit. So, Tyler, you can also roll your discipline to try to help the effort.
All right.
Sure.
I will... I was just going to say, I will go ahead and add some madness to this because this is pretty mad and I am freaking out a little bit.
Yeah.
So I am going to do that.
Pain is 8, by the way. Just thought I'd mention that again. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and use all of my madness dice.
Okay.
That interesting.
Well, my roll was useless.
Well, you got one success. That helps.
One success.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right.
that is interesting. So many sixes.
That's all.
All right, so I have 6 successes total, but I also have a 6, 6, 5 in madness, 2 6s in exhaustion, and 1 6 in discipline.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
How many successes did you get?
6.
You got 6 successes. Okay, let me actually go ahead and roll. And I may ask. I'm sorry. I may ask for some of that again. I got no. Holy crap!
Holy
Oh,
crap!
4s.
The
Oh,
odds
wow.
of that roll.
Oh my
are-
god.
There's no way. Like
Oh wow!
the system wouldn't. Whoa.
8 4s. That is like.
It's a lot
That's
of
like.
fours.
Oh my god! The statistical probability of
That's-
that is.
That is nuts.
And it's good for us too.
Good for you. No
Wow.
successes. But that's a lot of 4s. Apparently, I got all 4s.
Doesn't say anything about
So
The madness dominates.
madness dominates. Okay. So yes, please go ahead and check off a response.
I guess that's a fight, even though I'm fleeing because it's my last response.
Ah, excellent. Good. Good. You're checking off your last
Okay.
response.
Mine will be flee.
And so yeah, Tyler also checks off a response, so that'll be flight.
Right, yeah.
So you're gonna make it to the gate, but your Katrina, your fight response is kicking in. Tyler, your flight response is kicking in. What does this look like as you folks get to the gate?
If my fight response is kicking in, then I imagine like there might be like something they like as I run up to the gate, I just like kick it as hard as I can as I'm trying to make my way through. Just like run up and just like drop kick it and to like then keep going.
It's kind of a turnstile-ish gate, but you manage to kind of sort of break it a little bit as you do. So
Yeah.
it's like now just sort of wedged open permanently. So you now have to scoot around to scoot around to the little metal wall in order to make it out. But it's now such that you can do that if you know. So you're sort of heading out. Tamsin,
Oh,
what do you want to know
I wanted
about
to
this?
ask the other people that were on the train, the Sandpaper Man headphones.
Yes, they're also getting off the train. They
Oh, like they're just standing there waiting.
they basically they kind of I think it's either they're gonna flee back down the tunnel, or they're going to I think they're probably gonna flee back down the tunnel. Actually, they get out and they start running down the opposite direction, the subway tunnel. So Tamsin, you're trying to decode this thing, as it were. So if you would, this is still going to be a pain of what you're trying to figure out if something's controlling it, and you're trying to figure out just basically as many details as you can about it. Is that what we're looking for?
And I mean, if I want to really edge on it, I could turn invisible and get closer.
You could. You absolutely could. That'd be a completely viable means of using your invisibility power, if you wish. Wouldn't be too hard. The thing is distracted. You just need to be kind of... So you'd probably we're looking at like 3 exhaustion if you want total invisibility for you right now. Not exhaustion. 3 madness if you want total invisibility for you right now. I'm going to be rolling 8 pain dice. So, of course, up to you how many madness you ultimately want to roll.
I'm gonna do 4.
Okay.
Since there are so many 4s, I'll just act.
Yeah, I know, right? All right.
Oh.
I will roll my pain dice.
Oh, I got 4 4s and.
Well, I rolled fewer 4s this time.
But still only 1 success there, huh?
Strange, isn't it? Yeah. These things, they happen. Okay, so we have...
Lucky us.
It looks like pain is dominating, though.
Discipline.
But we have You have 3 successes. Do I want to try to make any... No, I can't make anything else dominate really seriously here. I'll take another coin of despair. Sure, why not? So... You've beat me by 2 successes. So you turn invisible, you get closer to this thing. You can feel heat coming off of it. It's got like you looked further down, it's got like a furnace inside of it. And you can see that, as you can see down into sort of the hole where it is, it's got this little sort of, it apparently, yeah, it looks like it hollowed out a bunch of tunnel area behind it. It's got a strange little lair out here. Big lair out here under the ground. Where it hollowed out subway and some tunnels beneath it. And so you can see it looks like multiple building levels. You can see that it does look as though someone might have manufactured the thing. From what you can tell. Let's see, 2 successes over mine. You see that you don't think it's being directly controlled. You think that it's possessed probably from the way that it's behaving as you're watching it. It's got somewhere probably around the level of smart animal intelligence. But it seems to be self-governing as far as you can tell. Got a bolts riveted onto it. And it kind of looks that with the number of bolts, lots of bolts, it kind of looks almost just a tad steampunkish. A lot of the materials, it looks like, and the way that it's built just reminds you of stuff from like the late 1800s, early 1900s. And so, yeah, so like, and you know, you've only been here for a few hours in the Mad City, but you would if you had to hazard a guess, a lot of the nightmares you've seen have varied wildly. And so someone might have a nightmare that's this specific. Possibly. I mean, it is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. But it also does seem as though someone probably put this together deliberately and wanted it to look this way and wanted it to behave this way. So, yeah, it's
damn horror movie writers.
I know, right? You're sort of seeing this, and you also will kind of glance over, and you see Katrina, Tyler, and Isabel kind of trying to flee out through the door that's now kind of been wedged open. So if you wish, you may flee as well.
Yeah, I'll just try to glide with my wings. Maybe I can get a bit faster.
Yeah, it's not too hard, and the thing can't see you. You glide over, but you know you're gonna have to fold them up very tightly again this time to push your way through. Pain is dominating.
Oh yeah.
You feel some sharp pain come from your wings as you are pulling. It's a very tight squeeze. And as you feel a number of the feathers tearing out. So you're not entirely as befeathered as you were. So flying is probably going to be a little more difficult now. For as long as you have these. So... Katrina, Tyler, Isabel, and then you'll see Tamsin will be bringing up the rear. You see this, looks like kind of a station that's there's a wide hallway that leads off in both directions, and then a large round entrance that looks, again, similarly to the one that you folks saw back at the farmer's market-like area. That looks like sort of a very clean-looking sewer tunnel.
What district does it look like we made it to?
I don't know.
Does Isabel look like she I knew that I asked if she recognized the monster, but did she also recognize the place? Like, we know as players that she's been there, but does it look like she knew where to walk? Like, you weren't really like as confused as us?
Yeah, Isabel, she made kind of it looks like she knew where she was going when she was running for the exit and not just following Katrina.
Mm-hmm. Isabel, where are we right now? Do you know?
That's Jim, I have the memory of a goldfish.
Excellent. Okay.
Where are we?
Stand by. I'm going to send you a message,
Okay.
which you may then, if you wish, relay. Let me look.
That's cool.
Let me look. I just want to make sure I'm looking
I
at
thought
the
I'd gone
map.
a loophole.
Okay. All right.
Oh, it's quite long.
Yes, everyone will be able to hear me typing real quickly, and just so that
Yeah,
everyone
which
knows
one?
that I'm doing work.
Mhm.
It's got to be long, so
We need to
doing some
figure out where we are.
deductive work.
Let's see. It's just outside.
I took a peek at your subway map earlier, and
Mhm.
if we're not to the market district yet, I think we might, if we can, we might be able to find the yellow line on a different set of tracks, maybe. And that should be able to take us the rest of the way from what I saw.
Okay.
I'm assuming Tyler told us that the sandpaper man told us we had to change, right?
Yeah, we have to change. So maybe we are lucky and we chose the right station. What districts were like in between this first stop and target stop?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder.
But it doesn't look like the station is being used now, right? Because it's all torn up or whatever.
Not anymore, I guess.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we're somewhere.
I want to say the grid.
Yeah, me too. That's what I'm thinking.
Tyler,
I don't know what
your
the grid
argument.
is, but that's what I'm thinking.
It's agreed.
Isn't that where the guy was saying about the emptiness? Something,
Oh, this nonsense. I don't know.
or was that the industrial district? I don't remember.
He was talking something about the industrial
Okay.
district. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, it does look pretty industrial to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, the grid just reminds me of a racing game, Grid 2, which is like a drift racing game, and that's super fun. So this is probably super fun too, right?
Yeah, there's like Mario Kart waiting for us outside the station.
If only.
But
Like, that's someone's nightmare, right? Mario Kart's on the streets.
Oh yeah, that's totally a nightmare. It's not fun at all. No, I'm kidding. Mario Kart's
No,
amazing.
In Japan, you can have like the carts on the go-karts on the street, right? And then drivers were getting really pissed because
Oh yeah.
like you have these tiny little cars and like, yeah, it's like bicycles. Anyway, sorry.
My apologies.
Tangent.
I have just sent a very complicated message, and so it probably will take a second.
Please hold.
Okay.
Probably
No worries.
typed in some motivations in there, possibly. But yeah, so like, I don't know, like, I don't
there
know what the
anything-
grid would be, but like, I'm thinking maybe we're close to it or we're in it right now, the grid district. And I just am not sure. Is this the only set of tracks? Does the yellow line and blue line run on the same track is what I'm really wondering.
I don't think that's
I would say that the way back is kind of close, so we could just go forward and see if there are any other lines, or we have to go on the surface.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's
So you have three choices of directions. From this spot, you can go like left or right. which looks like more station-like tunnels, or you can go into you can go ahead into the sewer-looking tunnel. So those are your choices right now. And if Isabel says something, then she might, but I don't know if she will or not.
Isabel, you okay?
What do you think, Isabel? Like,
I'm
we
just trying to get my bearings. That's all. This wasn't the station I intended to, or we intended to get off at.
Yeah.
Oh, so you know the station?
I know stations, and this one, I mean, last time I was anywhere near here, it was not as torn up. So I'm having trouble, like, reorienting to the new situation, you know?
No idea where we might be, though?
Yeah, I think so. So we want to go to you wanted to go to the market district, right?
Denny's place.
Yeah.
And Denny's or something like that.
Yeah, Denny's or somewhere else around there.
Yeah.
I'm not super particular.
Just get a cup of coffee, right?
I mean, I'm already set up on this Denny's place. I'm sold out. Let's just go to Denny's.
So we can actually, I don't want to call it a shortcut because it's kind of a long cut. But if we go through these tunnels, we can get to the market district. Since the yellow line, by foot. It's gonna take a while, but
how long is a while?
Some amount of time.
We got like 40 minutes tops.
It's probably not going to take quite that long.
No.
Maybe 20 minutes.
We can make it.
20 minutes and we can get there, you think?
Mm-hmm,
Hey,
I think so.
That sounds like a journey.
That sounds
it's better
like...
than getting on a train and maybe getting eaten again.
I kind of don't trust trains anymore.
Okay, I guess.
All right. I'll follow you.
Yeah.
Sewer tunnel?
Do you think that could happen? That could have happened because we didn't buy a ticket? Anyway.
I doubt that.
We just skipped the ticketing process.
Yeah.
All right. So you're heading into. Are you heading into the tunnel that you were heading into before? Is that what we're looking at, basically?
Yeah.
Okay. So into the sewer tunnel.
Mm-hmm. Sewer tunnel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So you start heading into the sewer tunnel, and you'll go in, and you will, and as you hear the loud gnawing of metal will dissipate as you enter into this place. And I think this is where we're going to take a break. I'm going to go ahead and throw an interview on, and we will be back in a few minutes. See you shortly. Welcome to the break. I am here with Drac, who is here to talk about the various amazing things they do. Hello!
Hi. Oh God, you really hyped me up a bunch. Okay.
Well, I mean, you quite honestly, it's I find it hard pressed to go out and find someone in the tabletop spheres who are coming off as more awesome as you are currently, to be perfectly honest. But,
God, I'm flattered. Thank you.
It's very cool. It has been very cool and just wonderful watching all of the various projects you've been involved in. I just wanted to, but in case anyone has been living under a rock or otherwise might be unaware, I just wanted to get a chance to chat with you a little bit and see what you're up to and how you came by this. So first off, how did you get into tabletop gaming?
So my story kind of has two fronts, I suppose.
Yeah.
One is when I learned about TTRPGs in the first place, just what they are in general. And and I guess got interested in watching those, specifically actual plays. And the second is when I actually started playing them. And when I discovered TTRPGs first, obviously, other than the like whispers I'd hear in my circles of D&D, I think D&D was like the one that would always come up. I didn't know what it was, even with the whispers I kept hearing. I just it didn't seem interesting. I was very much, when I was younger, I was very much more of I was a weird mixture of jock and nerd, but I definitely leaned more on the jock side. So I was like, oh, D&D, that's for nerds. And I just never looked into what it was in the first place. But then I was in university, and reached a point where I just realized I couldn't really fall asleep without like listening to YouTube videos or playing something on Twitch. So I was on YouTube. Listening to Markiplier, the classic gaming YouTubers. Yeah. And I fell asleep to Markiplier. And when I woke up, I found out that autoplay was on my YouTube account, so I just kept playing through different stuff, and ended up in the middle of a Geek and Sundry actual play of Foreververse. It was run by Ivan Van Norman, incredible person in the TTRPG space. But they're running a game called Foreververse, and I woke up in the middle of it like, what is happening right now? What is this thing? It's weird. People are sitting around the table, improvising over a story and rolling dice. What's this? So I watched it and just kind of hooked on TTRPG actual plays. And so I decided watching a bunch of them. I watched a good amount of them, like maybe year and a half or so before I actually started playing them. And I actually started playing them when I don't know if you've heard of this person, but Brian Iyengar,
Oh heard of this individual.
There's a small creator in the group, there's a small creator in the space. No, so Brian Iyengar was on a show called Hyper RPG. And they had an actual play called Kolok 1991. And I'd been watching it for a while now, but then Abria joined the cast, I think in season 2 of it. And watching Abria play, it's a black, loud, like there's no way to deny it. They're very loud, have a presence about themselves. A black, loud woman playing this game and playing it incredibly had me thinking like, I actually want to play TTRPGs now. And I think that's when it really clocked in my mind that up until now, I'd only really seen white creators, like white streamers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so it never really clicked in my brain that there was a space for me in it. So for a very long time, I was just satisfied with watching rather than playing. But seeing Abria play was when it kind of clicked, like, no, I'm not just okay with watching it. I want to play this stuff. So soon afterwards, I joined my university's D&D club, or TTRPG. It was Warhammer and tabletop role-playing games.
Yeah.
I saw the Warhammer, looked at my wallet, and was like, nah, maybe not Warhammer. Yeah.
I walked into a Games Workshop store like just once or twice. The very brief time, and this was even back in the 90s when I was, I very briefly I was in the UK, and I did not realize prior to that point that there were actual physical Games Workshop stores, which there are a lot of them sort of over here too now. But I walked in and just seeing the array of it, I was already intimidated just by the sheer amount of stuff it looks like you have to buy to get into that. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
It was honestly, I was very lucky. I've told this kind of portion of the story to a lot of people, and a lot of people mention how lucky I was to have a TTRPG club in university. Many people didn't. But so my club was very welcoming and very encouraging. Even when I did walk away from Warhammer, because that just seemed too expensive, I had many people who were like, hey, I'll let you borrow my figurines and minis and stuff like that. I think I ended up just walking away from it because I like owning my stuff.
Yeah.
But then also having to own it is expensive. So I was like, oh, I can't do that. So I played D&D. I played a one shot. I played pre-gen characters. I think my first character was a human fighter. The vanilla of the vanilla, depending on who you ask. And I loved it. It was great. Absolutely loved it. When I rolled my first die, it was the critic die, and then I rolled a metal die afterwards, and I was like, yeah, I can feel the addiction to dice hitting now, just from day one. I think the very next day I bought my own set of metal dice and started playing my D&D club. This was like right at the beginning, like maybe 2 or 3 months before the pandemic hit. I was playing, so I hadn't really been playing for very long before the pandemic hit. But yeah, I played a campaign where I continued as a fighter, but played as a dragonborn. So I just love dragons. Honestly, it's kind of where my name came from. and kind of was hooked ever since.
Yay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, I will say at this point that I was lucky enough to have you on this channel in one shot of Medical Bay 3. That was a game that was being worked on at the time by one of the indie fellows. I'm trying to remember which one now. Alas, there.
Yeah.
The Medical Bay 3 was put together by. Let me just make sure that I have that. No, Googling it does me no good. I'm so sorry if you happen to be looking at this and you're the designer of Medical Bay 3, but I'm afraid it has dropped out of my brain. But as to who put it together. But in any case, it's folks can go back in the various videos and find them if they so desire. It's a couple of years back. And it's just basically it's a medical drama in space.
Yeah.
And it was so fun having you on there. Just seeing you looked like you were taking to it immediately. I had trouble believing it was your first time, I will say.
Yeah, no.
But
it was my first time, and I remember being very nervous and decided that I'd just play a nervous character to hide that. But no, yeah, that was my first time.
And it worked out quite well. And as I recall, I think your character helped sort of, it just really was, I mean, everyone was contributing, but you really was sort of got into solving the overall problem with the patient that was in there. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
And since then, you have done many other things on streams. And I'm wondering if you'd like to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, no, so when the pandemic hit, a lot of the games I'd finished one campaign. It was a fairly short campaign. I mean, depending on who you ask, actually, it's a fairly long campaign. We had maybe 10, 12 sessions, and then we ended that campaign and we were starting a new one. This is all off stream. This was with my D&D club, and then COVID hit, and for a while we kept playing in person because we were all quarantining and we were all isolating. We were each other's bubble essentially, but it got to a point where it just wasn't really possible, especially after the holidays arrived. So we all were going back from leaving the dorms to go back home for the holiday. So we tried playing over online through Discord. And considering everyone that I was playing with wasn't really a streamer, they didn't really invest in a good mic or a good cam or anything like that. It became increasingly hard for everyone to play. Either mics would cut out or the internet just wouldn't be stable. So it became hard to keep playing. So I kind of turned to playing online with, I guess, for lack of a better term, strangers. So I looking to play on streams and stuff like that. And that's how I found you, Other Dark, and played Medical Way 3. Fell in love with streaming. That's where I met Jen.
Yeah.
And Jen kind of was the one to be like, hey, you're really cool. Do you want to play together more? And I can't remember for the life of me what channel it was, but they used to be part of a channel and invited me over to play on that channel as well. And that's kind of how streaming kind of started chugging away for me. I'd streamed before, but not teach RPGs. I tried my hand at being a video game streamer for a couple of times. Yeah, but that was my first time, I guess, performing really on camera. And Jen pulled me deeper into it, and I just kept going deeper and deeper ever since. I think, God, I won't be able to list everything I've done since then. But some of the cool things I've done that have still stuck with me is that I've been on Dragon Talk, which is very cool. I think within the year or two that I started playing, which was just ridiculous to me. I had been on D&D Live, the show they do every year. I think they do it maybe twice every year, I think, at this point. I'm not entirely sure. But I got to play on the official D&D channel, played with Roll20. I was on a campaign that was on the D&D channel. It's been a lot. It's been interesting and fun, and I definitely didn't see myself doing all of this stuff when I first started. But here I am. And now I'm co-founder of my own channel. I'm being asked to be on other games and interviews, literally one here. It's been It's been cool. Every so often I'd sit back and just think about where I started and where I am right now, and it's been pretty wild, a pretty wild ride that I don't intend on getting off of anytime soon.
Brilliant, brilliant. Actually, yeah, could we talk just for a moment about Friends Who Roll Dice? The channel that you started. What was sort of the impetus getting that together?
Yeah, so I will say there's some dirty laundry involved, so I won't give any names or anything like that.
Oh.
But a channel that I was a part of previously wasn't so great, especially to marginalized folks, especially to women. So a bunch of us kind of decided we're gonna leave and just make our own channel and do better. And I think we have pretty well. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not only leaving names out because I don't want to cause drama, but I also just legitimately cannot remember the name of the channel we were part of.
Oh, yeah.
Because they kind of fell off the face of the map very soon after we left.
There were a lot of those that sort of back in this probably like 2020-ish, mid 2020-ish.
Yeah.
We were talking. Yeah. There were a lot of channels that were suddenly discovering just that they needed to take a look at themselves. And I think so that was definitely a thing. I mean, I definitely took a look at myself during that time. I'll tell you that. So that was definitely a point when there was a lot of that happening. So I'm very glad you weathered that and found something.
Yeah, I will say, luckily, I wasn't the one who took the brunt of any of it. But a friend of mine was, and once they told me about it, I thought, I'm not going to play with this group anymore. And then they went on to create Friends Who Roll Dice and invited me. I actually came on, so even though I am a co-founder, I'm technically haven't been part of Friends Who Roll Dice as long as everyone else. Just by a few weeks, quite literally a few weeks.
Okay.
They kind of put it together, and then a few weeks later, they were like, "Hey, Drex, do you want to be a part of this? You're pretty cool." And I'm like, if you think I'm cool, yeah, sure. So it's been fun. It's been cool seeing it grow the past 2 years, almost 3 years now. It's weird to think about. To almost have a name for itself as well, which has been very interesting as well. It's been cool. The name is valid, I think. I think from the people who've been on Friends Who Roll Dice, it's been really cool to hear that people legitimately feel like this is a safe space to play. And we started it so that we can introduce new people to new systems, introduce just new people in general to TTRPGs, try to make it as friendly to new players as possible, while also encouraging and keeping veterans interested as well, which I think we've been doing a pretty good job of so far.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Definitely, no. It very much gives off the vibe of being that kind of place, and it's wonderful to have. It's wonderful to have it out there. Well, if folks want to find you, if they're looking for you, where should they go?
You can find me on Twitter at Draconics. That's DRAKONIQUES. I kind of stream all over the place, so follow me on Twitter is honestly the best place to find what I'm doing at any given moment. I'll be entirely honest, most of the time, I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing at any given moment until a couple of days prior. So you'll be just on alert and just on your toes as I am at any given moment. You can also follow Friends Who Roll Dice. I'm not often on camera there, but I work behind the scenes with admin and charity work and just general event organizing there. Actually, that's my specific job there. What else? That's honestly it, other than I guess the shows I'm on. So just follow me on Twitter to find out what show I'm doing when you're watching this.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, it's wonderful. It's wonderful getting to see you again. I got to tell you. But I'm going to go ahead and throw things back over to my future self, and who's doing something. I have no idea what. Who can know? Because I too don't know what I'm doing usually until a few minutes out of time. So I understand. But in any case, folks, do take care, and we will see you all of a sudden. we have returned, and we are walking through the sewer system. Isabel, this is going to be easier than it was when you were last here, as you are. I presume you're navigating.
She's
Yep.
definitely first.
Okay.
For sure.
So we are going to, as we find our way in, you note that there are a number of passageways that you come into where, like, the pipes start to have this motif of being coated in wax, sort of white wax, some of them, and kind of like candle wax. And then there are some pathways that are off to the left where you could turn, and where some of the pipes look like they're glowing red, like red hot. And unless I'm mistaken, Isabel sort of leans more in the direction of the wax coated pipes.
Yep.
And you have the luxury this time of not being chased, so
Ideal.
you're able to find your way through to that area, and you're going to come into ultimately a point where the as you feel yourself kind of getting deeper into sort of the city, sort of more under the city, you're going to find places where you're going to find some chambers. You go through a couple of chambers. This isn't the exact route you took before, but it's because you're trying to... where it's like the stone looks older, and you will ultimately, as you are proceeding, see a couple of folks, a couple of people, as you're heading, up a tunnel where the walls are coated in wax. After you take a right turn, and there's going to be basically, Isabel, there's going to be sort of a hook into another chamber, and then there's going to be a path off to the left that should take you closer to the market. And in this chamber, you see up ahead there are a couple of people walking back and forth. There is light, I should point out, down here. You've started noting that it was like service lights, and those are still going. They're kind of dimmer in here. You're now noticing some of the lights are coming from little candles that are embedded in the wax. The wax is built up that much. And you will see there are a couple of people up in this chamber that looks like it's lit by candlelight. And there's something a bit odd about them. Going back and forth from what you can see, sort of the closer you get, it looks like they too are coated, at least somewhat, in wax. These two people in that chamber. They seem to be just pacing back and forth. Not even pacing as in, like, frustrated pacing. It's just they seem to be just going back and forth, turning, walking back and forth.
Is this looking familiar to you, Isabel?
Yes, it is.
What's the deal with them being covered in wax? Do you know anything about that?
They're just wax persons, Katrina. That's fine. Like, carrot person. That's a wax person.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm more worried that, like, because the walls are coated in wax and these people are starting to get built up with a coating of wax as well, that there's something around here that if we stay too long, we could end up being wax figurines.
We should not stay too long. So we're just passing through.
That's a good plan.
Yeah.
Let's just pass through.
And I lead them in the direction of the left-hand tunnel where I want to
Okay.
go.
So,
And Isabel
As
at
you're
this
heading
point
for-
is 3 people again.
oh, okay, cool.
Oh,
So
hello.
you are heading forward. You are going to hear some rumbling, kind of in that direction a little bit. Some low rumbling off to your left. It sort of happens for a moment and then stops. But you head forward, and you're going to come into this chamber. And they look like they're dressed kind of like medieval knights, or at the very least, kind of the Halloween Express equivalent, potentially. They're wearing breastplates, and they're carrying swords, and they have these sort of... One of them has kind of a conquistadorish helmet, but as you turn, you see that they do not have eyes. Their heads track toward you. In place of their eyes, they have things that look kind of like eyes, but they're actually they're the tips of candles with a blue flame on each one.
Wow. Looks
The
like
taller one turns as you enter. I'm presuming you're not trying to sneak past them.
Correct. Yeah.
And the tallest one turns and is like, "Oh, good lord, you again."
Yes, us again. May we have passage?
Can you actually pay the toll this time?
Yes.
You can. All right then.
Just me, though. I will be paying the toll for the whole group. I want to make clear. We will.
I will mention briefly, because I would be remiss not to, that for the rest of the group, the stranger did mention something, I think, about the wax people, possibly.
I remember it was like we could pay them off. I didn't know there was
Yeah.
a toll.
Yeah, with the wax coins specifically, I believe they
That
said.
is true. That is true. You do have that at your disposal if you wish. But Isabella said that she will be paying the toll.
thanks.
And-
So nice of you.
Yeah, you're cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very well. There are, and he looks at the 3 of you, and then the 6 of you. Is like, well, and he will step back and he will point to one of the flagstones. Set it there.
I walk up to one of the flagstones and do the thing like, I'm dropping something, but Sarah doesn't remember what the toll was. I think
Okay.
Alyssa paid it,
So yes. That was actually ended up being paid by Olivia's character,
yes.
and she ended up paying a memory of a vista.
Got it.
That's
That's right.
You at this point have a number of options open to you, depending on how you want to play this. If you would like to trade them a memory of something, that's absolutely fine. You can do that. You have had the opportunity to get money. If you wish to just give them some coins, you can do that. But it's entirely up to you how you want to handle this.
I will. I want to give up a memory because that's cooler.
Okay.
But I need a minute to think about which memory.
Okay.
Yeah. So I walk up to one of the flagstones that they pointed to and just sort of like make the dropping motion with my hand. And what I give them is a memory from a few years ago, like just when Isabel was still a teenager. And it's of a beautiful snowy day and skiing on winter break with her family in the Rockies.
Okay. Yeah, no, absolutely fine. You don't need that where you are now.
Not at all.
And so what does that physically look like? The item that you imbue the memory with.
What drops out of Isabel's hand is a perfectly round, no indentations. It's a completely perfect sphere snowball, and as it drops onto the flagstone, it just bursts into powder.
Okay. The knight's like goes down. He's like, you're gonna have to pull. You're gonna have to suck. You're gonna have to vacuum that up. That's all right. All right. Yeah, no, that'll do. Fine. You watch yourself. You know that. There's rumblings of things trying to push in from the outside.
Yes.
And he will scoop up some of the powder and then just be like, just turn to, and he'll kneel down and start scooping up some of the powder, and he sort of gestures to the left hand corridor.
I lead the 2 other Isabels and the other 3 to that corridor.
Okay. As you are heading into that corridor, you can hear sort of behind you, it's like, you hear some cursing, and he's like, get the dustbuster, would you? As you are heading through this corridor, you find that the wax is no longer, is basically lessens as you move through it, and you return to more of the traditional sewer lighting. And you start to hear that rumbling again. The corridor turns. Eventually, you come to you pass through a couple of intersections, and then there's another more significant rumble, and you hear, and you can see dust fall from the ceiling, and it's now there's this low-level rumbling that's happening off sort of the direction you're headed now, far to your right. You think. Actually, you're not sure how far. But you can hear it. There are a couple of more intersections ahead of you to get through. And then you'll be up to where the turn is to head toward the market district.
Are we good? Does this look right?
Yes. We're almost there. We'll be there in time.
All right.
That rumbling is disconcerting.
Exactly. Maybe we should hurry a little.
Let's just not linger.
As you progress forward,
Sounds good.
you hear there's something, the sound of stone tearing from distantly ahead of you somewhere.
Are you sure we're good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm taking your lead here.
And it's kind of it's really the lighting isn't very good here. It's not Isabel's best look. There's not good selfie lighting, but if you look very closely, you can kind of see some concern on all 3 of their faces, and then it just passes.
You pass the first intersection, and the corridor shakes, and it continues shaking for a moment as you hear this sound, and you hear these mechanical sounds from up. You can't see anything yet in this corridor, but up further somewhere to the right.
Maybe I could tune it again?
Well, you want to tune in on it?
I would.
Sure, hang on just a second. I just want to find something real quick. I may. Let's see. This could be good if it's... Or this could be better. Let's see. Yeah. Well, you're going to be rolling against... Let's see, let me find the pain. Always must find the pain. Let's see what we have here. Yes. So this is an extension of that thing. And we have these. For what this is, I'm going to assign a pain of 6.
I see. Well, I'll be rolling with some additional madness. This place is so surreal and yet realistic. It is maddening. I'll be rolling 3.
Yeah, for the level... Yeah, you're going to need at least a couple... If it's the same level of information you wanted before, you need to roll at least 2 madness, but you can roll more if you want.
Oh, okay, I'll roll 4.
Okay.
Let's see how it goes.
All right. I mean, you're gonna... Yeah, you're gonna beat me here. I got 2 successes. And it looks like actually pain is dominating. I'm going to spend one of my coins of despair to add another 6 to your exhaustion pool. So exhaustion is now dominating. It's again very tiring. Please add 1 to your exhaustion. And you're sort of like trying, you're very hard. And you start to get this feeling as you're tuning into this thing. And you hear this, another machine rumbling forward. It does sound to everyone like there's machinery rumbling forward from somewhere. This doesn't sound, however, like the Train Eater. I just want to make that clear. You hear, again, this, as this is happening, you almost get this feeling, this sort of, you get this sense, you're feeling into the entropy of the thing, and this feeling of inevitability, and this feeling that you're carrying a very heavy weight, a very heavy burden, as you are tuning into this and hearing it. And what you're hearing is, again, voices very similar to the ones you heard before. Is that, all right, we're going in the right direction this time. Yeah, I think we got it. I think we got it. This is, why are we even doing this? Well, we're supposed to meet Sphinx. You know how he gets if we're not there on time. Best we went this way. Yeah, I know. Still, can't just come to its eat. Of course he can't. He's got too much going on, doesn't he? Who's this Toff we're supposed to look out for? He's got oh no, Sphinx just said he had a big connection. Hang on. It's got to be around here somewhere. He's showing up on the scan. Yeah. Where is he? It's a little bit off to the left. All right. And you hear things turn. More rumbling. Yeah. Toff in a white shirt. And it looked like one of them DIY business fellas. Oh God, one of them. That's even worse. He's a programmer. Oh shit. Well, no wonder Triplethwaite's going nuts. All right, come on, here we go. Almost there.
Okay.
Yeah, you should be able to see him in a few seconds.
And like walking forward.
You're all hearing this loud rumbling.
Oh boy, you're gonna carry that weight a long time.
Should we go? Let's
Boy.
go. Run.
Tamsin, just make us invisible. Like now.
You see this.
Okay.
You see this showing up. I need to point this out. Just ahead of you at this intersection, coming from it, you see what looks like the front of a big drill. As this drilling machine comes into view, rumbling along on treads. Sitting on it are a handful of about a dozen men who look like they're dressed in kind of like late 19th century, early 20th century workman's clothes. Most of them have no faces. Now, you have been forewarned on this.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying
And
to be invisible.
they're just kind of they're starting to look around. Apparently, they've got it is strange. They one of them is wearing goggles of some kind. As they're looking around, what is it we're doing?
I'm gonna turn everyone invisible.
Tamsin,
So you
now.
would like to turn all 6 of the people here invisible, yes?
Mm-hmm. Try.
Okay. And just what degree of invisibility are we looking for?
The highest of the high.
Okay, so you just want to roll 6 madness and
Yeah.
and be completely undetectable if at all possible.
Mm-hmm.
Understood. So this is again going to be a pain of 6.
Oh.
And that's basically what you're doing at this point. You're gonna be rolling 6 madness.
Mm-hmm. Should I? If I wanted to add a exhaustion, like.
Yeah, beforehand, yeah, absolutely. You can add 1 exhaustion to your permanent exhaustion before you roll.
Yeah.
Give you another die.
Just to be sure.
Sure.
Let's go.
Okay.
Nice.
So you've rolled 7 successes, so I cannot possibly beat you.
Undetected.
Let's see. So it looks like right now pain is dominating. I'm gonna add a second 6 to the madness pool instead.
Okay.
And so madness is now dominating. Please check off a response. Tamsin.
Of course, it's gonna be fight.
You're checking off your fight response. Excellent.
It's my last one as well.
Okay. That's your last one?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. This is going to get interesting. So, you turn everyone invisible as you see these bastards come into view. They're kind of wielding clubs, and they're kind of like looking around, and one of them hops off and just sort of looking around with the goggles, and it's like, he's here somewhere. One of these guys says. You hear sort of the voices echoing down the tunnel. All right, sniff around, fellas. It's got to be right around here. And these faceless people leap off, and are now basically they're starting to run down the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
About half of them. So you've got about 3 people running down the tunnel in your direction. You don't know if they detect you. They probably don't. But they're heading for you.
Are they far away enough they can't hear us talk? Or like if I whisper?
Well, they're only about. You've gotten pretty close at this point, so you may need to back up a bit if you don't.
Yeah,
want
so I'm just
to
gonna whisper and just say, guys, we need to slowly or fast try to get out of here. as quickly as
Agreed.
possible.
Agreed. I'm gonna hug up against this wall right over here. That way, if they walk
just gonna-
past, they'll walk right past me.
Now we're going to try to just sort of basically hunch up against the wall, make them run past. And they are going to. Tyler. You have your earbud in right now? It reactivates. And you hear a voice. Big question. What is Tyler's last name?
It is.
Did you come up with one? Okay.
It is Banca.
Could you spell that for me, please, in our meet chat? Okay. You hear a voice. Mr. Banker, I've got a proposition for you. I know you can hear me. I don't know exactly where you are, but I've got some business going on that I think is going to be mutually beneficial to us. Now, we can do this one of two ways. You can either reveal yourself to my lads, and they will bring you to me for us to have a little chat. Or, sooner or later they can keep looking, and I can send enough resources up there to keep all of you past 13. Now, which is it to be?
What do you want? I'm not sure if it has any kind of mind with it. So.
Yeah, you're just quietly saying, what do you want? And, the others might hear you say this, I don't know. And says, well, I've got an engine needs better programming. That's one thing. But I'm willing to make a deal for you exclusively. If you want to get out of here. As a sign of good faith.
I see, Mr. Sorry, what is your name?
Triplethwaite.
Mystery. Triplethwaite. I actually don't mind being here and programming. I'm sort of on a holiday,
Well, that's why I'm giving you a chance to exit. Just a question of you coming back. I'm not even going to require you to stay here. I can give you an exit. Momentarily. I can get you out of this city, Mr. Banker, right now. If you will accept my offer.
Exit? An exit to where?
Where'd you like to go?
I don't know. So,
Where were you, Oregon?
yeah, you could send me anywhere. Anywhere.
Pretty much, we got doors to everywhere.
Europe, Asia.
Certainly.
Okay, well, alright, thanks. I'll get you there. And I kind of take it out and
It's kind of hard to hear.
Yeah, I can't even hear.
Let's say you're whispering.
Yeah,
Sure,
guys.
whispering.
So there's somebody who is like trying to find me for some reason, and I don't think he's going to stop. So either we move past all these guys right now. I think we should get out of here. Yeah.
Well, we're definitely getting out of here, but
Well,
is it the same guy?
I don't know. That's the first time I heard him. It's a Mr. Triple so something. I don't know. Weird name.
Okay.
Let's just get out of here. Let's pass these
Yeah.
guys.
See, the faceless beings are sort of looking around. They're kind of trying to locate you. They're not getting any closer, but you can tell they're scratching around looking for you. And you see kind of the one of the ones back at the machine turns to the other and says, "All right, are you gonna call in the rollers? Yeah, it might be a good idea."
I'm going to try to sneak past them to see if it works or not. Seems like we're short on time.
Are they like blocking the tunnel so like we can't go past?
They are blocking the final tunnel that leads to the market district. Yes.
We need a distraction.
Well, that's actually a good idea. I'm checking my back, my back, and I probably have my flask over there. So, you know what? I'm taking the flask and I'm like throwing it to the tunnel which is behind us and kind of getting close to the wall.
Okay. You're going to try to distract these folks.
With my
Let them think that they're hearing you in that
beloved
direction.
flask. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. So for these workers, we're talking 3 workers, so it's going to be a pain of 3 to try to distract them. The other ones that are sitting with the drill and seem to be using some kind of radio on it are going to be staying there, but they'll probably be distracted by it at least somewhat as well if this is successful. So I'm going to be rolling a pain of 3.
Alright, I'll just roll. It's a very reasonable action, so. No madness.
Okay. I got 2 successes. You got 3 successes. Your exhaustion is dominating. Please add 1 to your exhaustion.
Well,
Getting your 6th exhaustion. You are so tired.
it's been a long time, yeah.
Barely stay on your feet. But you hurl this thing, and it makes a sound as it bounces off the wall. And they immediately, all of them, sort of turn their heads, and they start beelining for that place. And now you only have these 2 guys who are, again, they're also distracted with what they're doing, sitting by the drill. And the workers they brought are no longer between you and the exit.
Guys, let's go. Let's go, guys.
Let's go.
Look at that.
I'm gonna move, but I'm gonna do so as quietly as possible, but with as much speed as I can while being as quiet as possible.
Sure. Very carefully, you will all inch past this drill around the end of it. As these two guys are coming in, one of them sort of puts down the radio and kind of will turn to the other. All right, they're coming. All right, they're coming. Yeah.
Can I use my madness power on them really quick?
What would you like to do to them?
I would like to just make them so tired that, like, it's almost impossible to do anything.
Sounds good. So these guys, they're not too beefy. So this is going to be once again, this is going to be a pain of 2.
And how much madness would I have to use to get that effect?
Make them tired enough to just not be able to move, sort of sap them of all their energy. I'd say you'd need a madness to roll at least, I'd say 3 madness to make that happen.
All right, I'll just roll 3 then.
Gotcha.
Ooh, dropped 1. Well, that is good, I suppose. Good enough. 3 successes, but it looks like I have exhaustion dominating.
Okay, yeah, I got 2 successes. So you're gonna up your exhaustion by 1.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is tiring when you do it. But yeah, you will send. I would ask what this looks like, but it's invisible.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's just like a wave that just like emanates, just like in the directions that I can point it.
Yeah. Point this wave at them, and they're like. And see, they just sort of are like, and they don't really necessarily go unconscious, but they're just like, they just sort of curl up on top of the machine. They're like, oh God, how long have we been here? No, you gotta get this done. It'll be all right. Just gotta get this done. It's okay. They're about here. We should be all right. And yes, you're able to. Yeah, these 2 guys, they're now like, they're not unconscious, but they're not doing anything.
Good.
And the 6 of you are able to slip past them without too much trouble. You come into a corridor that has what looks like sort of decaying graffiti on the wall. You're heading forward. You can hear a lot of footfalls behind you. As you're getting closer to up ahead, you see a set of stairs. And some light coming in from above. Stairs that go up.
Is this the way out, Isabel? All right.
Yep.
Let's go.
Let's go.
You head up the stairs. And you are going to find yourself on a corner. A street corner as you emerge. Let us put on the appropriate music. You have come to the corner of the Market District. You have behind you the Penitence District. on this place that you're coming up. Actually, let's see. I think this was actually on the side of the re-education district, so I should point that out. So you're at that intersection between penitence and re-education and drama and market, those districts. So behind you, as you're coming up, you see these big, sort of brown-looking, sort of college-looking buildings. Just to your right, you see this. It looks like a bus port, or for buses to come in and out. Ahead of you, you see right across the street. Looks like a big old movie theater and a few other businesses. To your left, there's an intersection, and then beyond it, the street goes specifically very cobblestone. To your left, across from you, you see what look like a lot of old church-looking buildings. Though a lot of them are businesses, so they're just mostly they look like churches, and they're made of the same stuff, but not necessarily. Sort of Gothic church-looking. And of course, across diagonally, you have the market district. So all manner of shops that look like they're a little incongruous, standing next to each other. Again, all manner of different eras. And a massive cluster of people walking the cobblestone streets, because it's getting much closer to 13, so a lot of people are here.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see all manner of people and possibly nightmares, you're not sure, or people who look like people and people who look like other things, and various animal-headed folk, various people who look like they are made out of different materials. And you see a bit further down, you see a bunch of tents. And as you are coming to the surface, you will see parked across the street from where you are is the Victorian dog catcher looking fellow that you met when you arrived. And he is there, he has on a leash, he is there with about half a dozen more faceless individuals. And Isabel, you've seen this person before too. And he has on a couple of leashes, he has a couple of shadow hounds. And sort of big, sort of dog-looking, slithery creatures. He's surveying, looking back and forth, and he hasn't spotted you. But the hounds are starting to pick up. And they're starting to perk up, and they're starting to want to move forward.
I'll be like, hey guys, you made it. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So Tyler is calling out. Yeah, you're still invisible, but yes, they hear that. The dogs are like dogs, the hounds, the shadow hounds are looking up, and you see the man, Mr. Sphinx, smiles. He's like, he slowly reaches down and sort of does something to sort of like behind the neck of one of these things, kind of rubs it back and forth. He says, "Go on." And he unclips the collar.
How does the invisibility work? Is it like, can Isabel voluntarily step? Is it like a bubble where Isabel can voluntarily step out of it? Does Tamsin need to drop it specifically on somebody? Like, how does it work?
I can drop it, but I think it goes with whoever it's on. Like, there's no.
Yeah, I think you have to be near Tamsin. I think we sort of established that.
Too.
But at the same time, it's, that aside, yeah, it's probably just an on-off thing.
Yeah, Isabel will step out of the range of the invisibility, and at this point, she's 5 people.
Excellent.
and they're all identical. You can't tell which one you've been talking to. And she walks up to the dog, like not dog, and gets down on her knees and like pets them as if they were like the cutest little corgis on the world.
Okay. Yeah.
And
So you do that. Yeah.
kind of makes a motion behind her back, like go, like, so that the Sphinx guy can't see the motion, but she's gesturing for the others to get out of here and get away.
And yeah, you will note Sphinx just sort of is reacting to your coming up. He's like, "We got business here," and he's starting to unleash the other one.
We're running.
Yeah, I'm going to start, like, I'm going to stay by Tamsin, but I'm going to, like, start moving as quickly as I can into
Towards
the market district proper. Yeah.
Okay. So the three of you, as you see, Sphinx is like sort of looking around, and Isabel's, you can see him starting to put two and two together.
Mm-hmm.
And he like hits he's trying to hit the side of the truck, and he's like, ah, and he's starting to basically send his people out as they're starting to look around, and he's basically pulling aside. And there's this moment basically where there's a bit of conflict. I will say that hey, sure. Do you want to pain versus pain this?
Sure, let's do that.
Okay. So, because Sphinx is 7 pain, and you are 6 pain.
Yes.
And this is all we have to roll. If you wish, you may roll first.
Yes, let's do this.
Okay. This pool has only pain in it. Pain will dominate no matter what happens here. Okay.
Ooh.
So yes, you're successful.
Mm-hmm.
And Katrina, Tyler, and Tamsin are able to sneak into the crowd. Now, the thing about it is that I need to ask a couple of questions. First, Tamsin, are you trying to maintain the invisibility while you're doing this?
Yeah.
You're having to concentrate.
Mm-hmm. And keep them close as well. So I'll try to like link my arms and them.
It is getting very hard to keep them that close to you.
Mm-hmm. Like we're getting pushed.
So you're
and
trying
stuff,
to maintain your invisibility and keep them close as these masses of people are coming in on you.
I'll try to fluff out my wings just to like get a bit more space.
So there is going to be a pain rating assigned to this.
I'm ready.
And you're going to be using your madness talent to maintain your invisibility.
Mm-hmm.
You were using 6, but you don't have to use 6 to maintain the degree, because you're no longer you don't have as many people now to keep invisible.
Mm-hmm.
But so you're going to need to at least roll at least 3 madness dice.
Yeah.
I'm going to be rolling for this. Probably, considering the stresses of this situation and what is happening in particular, and the people who are still seeking you out.
Mm-hmm.
For this situation, I'm going to call 5 pain.
Okay. I think that should be okay. All right, I'm rolling 4 madness. Let's go.
Okay. You got 5 successes. I got 4 successes. So you're a little bit ahead of me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Exhaustion is dominating,
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is appropriate. So please up your exhaustion by 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very tiring keeping everyone together. As these people just move past. You're concentrating, keeping this invisibility up. People are smashing past, smashing into your wings. And it's rough because no one can see you, so they don't make any openings for you.
Mhm.
That you bury yourselves in this crowd as you're going deeper and deeper in the bazaar. You see you're coming up, and you're moving slowly because there's massive people here. The big rings, big wide ring of tents. A couple of signs spinning backwards and forwards. You can see one side of the sign, then the other. On one side of the sign it says bazaar. On the other side of the sign it says bazaar. Spelled differently in each case.
One's the market,
Moving
one's
in
the weird word. Yeah.
Yep. There are people here selling everything. A lot of them seem to be selling emotions. A lot of them seem to be selling feelings. A lot of them seem to be selling visions. A lot of them seem to be selling thoughts, histories. Someone is selling the truth, apparently.
Ooh.
There are tents and booths, carnival-like booths that are dedicated to different games of chance. You can see people running games of 3-card Monte. You can see someone with the face of a roulette wheel looking thing running some kind of game of chance over there. You can see a bit of a ways distance. You're not quite there yet, but there's like a space for a couple of tents clustered around. There's this big sort of eye icon hovering above them. Not hovering exactly. It's like it's a sign. That maybe that's fortune tellers. It's hard to say. A lot of different little stage acts that sort of are happening around in this the bizarre bazaar. The press of bodies is kind of oppressive, and you're pretty sure that you've lost the hounds and the members of that press gang, probably for now at least.
All right.
Tyler, you see, however, every now and then this gap in the crowd, and you see this darkness. It's very strange. Every now and then, it's getting a little rough. As you're seeing, it's like as though every now and then you see someone step forward into pure darkness and vanish. Just random people. This darkness is familiar to you. You're not sure if you're seeing what you're seeing or not. What are we doing?
Guys, we probably shouldn't stay here for long. That was Dennis, right? Let's just move there.
Try to look for the Denny's.
Yeah, we need to get inside. Oh.
What means are you trying to use to find this Denny's?
Did the stranger mark it on the map that they gave us?
He didn't mark it, he just said go to the Denny's. Because remember, he also told you things move.
Yeah.
Just going to like the closest some sort of a shop or any kind of like entertainment stand, and I'll be like, hey, sorry buddy, we are looking for Dennis. We're a little bit lost. First time here in this crowd. Could you show us the direction?
I'm going to give you a choice. Real quick. There's the booth for the game of, as far as people very close. There's the booth for the game of chance with the roulette wheel looking guy. There is something that looks like a place where they are selling, it says absolute truth over this little awning on this stand. And there is, it looks like a sort of a little stage area where it says readings. Which of these three, these are the three things you are closest to, which of these three do you want to move toward?
I will go to the absolute truth.
Absolute truth.
Oh, but then before Tyler tries to go, I'm gonna say they're looking for you. So maybe you should try to not draw attention, and then I'll uninvisible Katrina, and then nudge her and say, hey, maybe ask.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go to absolute truth though.
They would have told us the truth about where this place is.
I'm gonna walk up to the one of the games of chance, I think.
Okay. Do you go up to the one with the roulette wheel, or do you look a little further afield for a different game of chance?
The roulette wheel will work.
Okay. There's a sign above it, that above his stand where he's just kind of sitting there. It looks like just a guy sitting there, and it says, a person whose head is a roulette wheel looking thing, and it says, beat the lottery above it. He is wearing a shiny purple and pinkish suit.
Okay.
You step forward.
I like your suit.
The lottery stands up. Thanks very much.
Yeah, it's super cool.
And what sort of game of chance can I interest you in today? What sort of thing do you wish? I have quite a range, as you'll find out.
Well, I appreciate that, but really, I'm just looking for the Denny's. It moved from the last place I saw it, and I haven't been over here in a couple hours, so...
Looking for respite, and you haven't long, so I see that that is what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Well. Let's say we place a little wager.
What kind of, what would I have to wager?
And he snaps his fingers. You see electricity coming at it, and you see the electricity comes off and forms this little table between you and him. And then it coalesces, and there's an actual physical table there. And on the table, you see it's a very simple looking setup for what looks like normally roulette betting. But there's just two sides. There's black and there's red. And they're not a bunch of numbers. It's just a black square and a red square. And he says, I'll tell you what. You place down a wager of something personal. A memory is what is usually here. And you can place one wager on either black or red.
Can I take a look at the roulette wheel really quick? Is it a standard roulette wheel, or is one color favored more in this one?
You look at it, at a glance, it looks like a standard roulette wheel, except it has twice the number of numbers, so it has like 72 numbers on it. Is it 72? Possibly. But it's in the 70s, the number. But I think it was either 72 or 74. Anyway. And it has red and it has black.
Okay.
And
it doesn't have the greens.
And should you come again?
It doesn't have the greens. Typically, the 0 and the 00 are green.
This one only has red and black.
Okay, so the odds are a little more favorable than the typical. Yeah. All right. I'm going to...
At least right now it does. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to copy what I saw Isabel do when they were paying our toll and just reach my hand out and make a dropping motion. And yeah, I'll totally intend to put a memory down.
What is this memory you're putting down?
I think the memory I'm going to put down is the last time. No. Shoot, this is hard. Because I keep thinking of really significant potential memories. Shoot. I'm gonna put down one of the good memories from one of my time in a relationship with one of my exes, I think. Just like one of those days where you're out singing karaoke with a couple of friends, just like the camaraderie and like jovial nature of going out and just singing together. And I'm gonna put that down because I've got tons of those.
Okay. I just noticed the volume of the music just went crazy, so my apologies to anyone who had their ears drowned out with that, who might be watching. Hopefully that did not happen, but you let me know, and I'm trying to fix it. So.
And I put it on... Let's go red.
Okay. So, you set this down on red. Is there anything else you want to do before the wheel spins?
Considering my madness power is literally just like emotions, essentially, the way that I'm playing it, I don't think that could help in this situation. I'm just gonna let it spin. Yeah.
Okay.
Chances.
This is a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
So, we're going to be rolling a 1d2, essentially. Or actually, tell you what. You have dice. I will let you roll a die.
Mm-hmm.
1 through 3. You want 1 through 3 to be red or black?
1 through 3 will be black. 4, 5, 6 will be red.
Okay. There you go.
Five. Yeah.
Okay. Time seems to almost slow down as the wheel on his face click, 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 starts to spin. And the wheel starts slowing and slowing and slowing. And I'm going to take a quick move real quick before the wheel stops into Tyler's head. So, Tyler, I have a question for you. Do you have the earbud in currently?
Oh, after I put it out. Yeah, just put it in back.
You pulled it out? Or you put it back?
I guess I put it back.
Okay, no, it's either way is fine. I just wanted to know which it is.
Put it back, yeah.
All right. You hear the voice of Mr. Triplethwaite again. All right, Mr. Banker. I'll give you a sign of good faith. You don't have to even believe me. Ask, you can pick who you want to ask from that booth area just to the south. I presume you're near the folks dispensing truth or something of that nature?
Yeah? there are. So,
I'll let you put it on my credit if you want to ask them how you get out.
how I get out?
Yeah. As a show of good faith, you tell them you put it on the credit of Mr. Triplethwaite. They will give you an out right now. But again, it's just you. You have to go now. It's almost gone 13.
Oh, well, thanks. I keep scanning the crowd. Do I still see this weird shadow figure?
You are looking and you do see it kind of still on the edges of the crowd. It seems to every now and then it absorbs someone. And you hear also, Triplethwaite says, I know you can see it. That's rather the point, the emptiness. You've got a good insight into it. That's why I'm even on this call. Can show you how to harness it, is what I'm saying.
Harness the emptiness.
You can use that emptiness. You can use that emptiness in practically any way you like. You don't believe me? Try to control it. You can. I'll bet you. Tell you what, I'll bet you. If you can't control it, I'll leave you alone. You're in the betting district, ain't you? If you can control it, I'll let you alone. If you can control it, all I ask is that you take your exit now. I won't even require you come back necessarily, but I think you might.
Control it. This sounds very scary, but also very tempting. How
Doesn't it?
How can I?
Do you accept my terms?
If I can control it, I exit?
You can control it. You get out.
Fine. Okay.
All right. Tyler. He will say, all you got to do is focus on it and bend it to your will.
Well,
That burden you carry, use it. Use the pressures on you to pull in what you like. And this just says you to think about it. What are you doing?
Tyler closes his eyes and this picture of emptiness, which looks like a massive black hole to him, just flashes as an image. And he tries to see it not as just a force which is going to consume him eventually, him and all the other world, but something external. And when he opens their eyes, he still keeps this image. He keeps it. He focuses on one spot and tries to imagine it there.
Tyler, you're going to be making a roll now. The pain rating for this roll, try to maintain control of this thing, is going to be... I'm going to set a pain of 3 on this. Is there something specific you want to do with it, or do you just want it to appear?
So this is a square with a bunch of different with people merchants, etc., etc.
Yes.
I'll just, I guess, well, this shadowy figure just moving around. I think I'll just kind of focus on a spot which is far enough on any building which is kind of stands out, on which I could focus, which I maybe don't like.
Sure.
Something very, I don't know, very bright and spot like a bunch of ads, if there are anything like this, a bunch of just
Yeah. Building with a whole bunch of little ads and bits of neon on it.
stuff like this. Yeah, just totally out of place. I'll
It's
just
like some
focus
kind
on
of
it.
a pawn shop.
Yeah.
All right. And do you want it? I'm sorry. You want it to appear on the building? Do you want it to do damage to the building, or do you want it to just?
I just don't want it to appear. I don't really know what's going to happen.
So to just appear without sucking anything in, maybe not being huge necessarily. Or how big do you want it to be?
Not sure. As big as I can make, I guess.
Oh, as big as you can make it? Okay. So I'm gonna require you to roll a madness of at least 3, but you may roll more if you wish.
I'll go with 6.
Okay.
That's a pretty crazy thing to do, so...
Sure, absolutely.
Here we go.
Ooh, look, 9 successes. I got only 2, so you are 7 up on me. Ooh. Exhaustion and madness are tied for domination. There's a rule for this. Stand by. Let me see if I can find... Let me find the rule. Discipline beats madness, madness beats exhaustion. Exhaustion beats pain when you are tied like that. Please check off a response.
Well, the only response is fight, so I guess I try to make it as destructive as possible.
Excellent. You will have an opportunity to flee in just a second. I'm just going to ask really quickly, Tamsin, is there anything, you haven't really noticed, he's kind of like talking to himself a little bit. Was there anything else you were doing before things happen?
I guess I'm just looking around to try and find the Denny's, I guess. Or maybe I would try to jump up on anything that seems would hold my weight so I can get like above you.
Yeah, you're going to find like a magazine stand, I think eventually you can sort of clamber up onto and start looking around. But are you trying to keep Tyler invisible while you're doing that?
Yeah, I won't go too far from him.
Okay, all right. So you try to sort of keep him, he's next to the newsstand as you're sort of climbing up. So you can try to just sort of keep concentrating, and you're looking around, trying to see, can I see a Denny's from here? You're going to be in a great vantage point for this. So, Katrina, it ticks around to the highest red number. And the lottery is like, excellent, you win.
Thanks.
And he will, again, he'll reach out his palm, he just puts his palm out like this, electricity sparks, and he says, it's called the downfall, in fact. Some of the local citizens refer to it as Denny's, or Battle Denny's. And he says, and you can see an image of the building, and he will, and you can see it goes down, you see a block, and you see it is just a block in. He says, just a block in here from the outskirts, a block down anti-clockwise from the drama district. Right about there. That's where it is currently. You're going to want to hurry, though. It's going to start moving in a moment. And you see a little dot, and now you know exactly where it is. And as this is happening, he says, and you hear it says, right about there. There's a very loud rumble, for madness is dominating. And behind you, you turn, and Tamsin, you look in the direction you're looking around. You see this pawn shop that's got all these things of neon on it, and you see a big black hole open up.
What is...
Right in the middle of the pawn shop.
Ooh.
As this is happening, Tyler, to your immediate left, you're looking. Well, you're not even looking, but there's a little burst of light, and to your immediate left, even as we're hearing this.
Oh, shit.
You see the side of see a little frame appear, and the side of the newspaper stand opens.
Moving there, I guess a deal is a deal. Hey, Tamsin.
It is indeed. And Tamsin, you hear Tyler, and when you look down, he is gone. Because the door, the bright light briefly comes from the door. It's hard to see what happened. You're looking down, you don't see a door, but you don't actually see Tyler. Something strange has happened.
I'm where Tyler
It's
was
like
now.
Tamsin is looking right through you. Tyler, the last thing you hear is, indeed, a deal is a deal. And I said, you only. And Tyler is sucked out through the door. Tamsin, you look around, and you just hear a door slamming shut.
I jumped down.
As you look
and
around,
checked. Yeah.
yeah. You look around, you jump down, you're checking around, you look, and Tyler is nowhere to be seen. It is now 13 o'clock, and all of the extraneous doors that have been appearing in the various buildings around have vanished. This is where we are going to break for the night.
It breaks on Tamsin just like really worriedly saying, Katrina!
Yeah, for sure.
Oh. That's so cool.
Wow.
Yeah, that was so good.
The episode title is Tyler's Origin Story.
Indeed, something like that.
Yeah, that was a cool ending. Wow.
Bye.
Yeah. You heard him call out to you, and then he was gone. All right. Well, folks, thank you very much for playing this evening. Thank you for your patience. I'd also like to thank the audience for their patience as the varying music levels and everything else has been happening as I've had to try to deal with audio issues this evening. We are going to go around and have our outros, and folks can feel free to tell us where they can. Feel free to tell us where they can find you, and any final thoughts you have about this session or favorite bits or what have you. And we are going to start with Sara. Thank you so much for coming and guesting with us.
Thank you for having me. I am Sara. You can find me on the internet at Sara of Swords. I don't think I have anything planned for the rest of the year, so this is kind of where you can find me this time and this particular date and this particular show, and I'm not going to be on anything else for the rest of the year, which is in 2 weeks, I think. Time's fake. And I really liked just coming back to play Isabel and see how she has developed since putting on the mask of the nightmare in her last appearance. So thank you all for having me. Best of luck to you both. And yeah, so thank you for having me.
Yay! Awesome. I was so pleased we were able to start crossing stuff over when we had this opportunity. So very awesome, very awesome. And I loved seeing what you were doing with Isabel, and I'm also looking forward to sometime in the future, if you ever wish to come back and do more nightmaring. It'll be interesting to see how things develop. But now we will head over to Cassa.
Hello, I'm Cassa, wilding _ on Twitter, for as long as that is around. I'm on there and I do stuff. I write and I play games, and you'll find out all that stuff if you check me out on there. But today was really, really interesting. The thing about today's was just, I don't know, to me, it was the imagery of everything I was watching in my head, like the subway and like being on the subway, and then the pipes and tunnels, and I was just going ham with some of the drawings that I had, and I was just and I'm excited for next week. That's me.
Yay! And if you don't, Shade, if you don't mind, I'm going to save you for last this time. So we're now going to head over to Krimsin.
Yeah. Hey, y'all. You can find me on, well, first off, I just want to say, like, great episode. I honestly really loved the imagery. Honestly, the scariest part about tonight's episode was definitely the sandpaper guy in the subway invading people's personal space. Like, that was the one thing I was like, oh, hell no. Like, I don't want to deal with that. Like, that was so good. I also really loved the way that you played with, like, the perception of Tyler, and just, like, basically formulated, like, all of these things for the last couple episodes. Like, yeah, they're looking for you. They're after you. And it all just like came to a head today. And that was really good. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter at sin_gal. You can find me here on Twitch and on Instagram at crimson_galaxy_RPG. And for the rest, for this week, games that I'm in, tomorrow I'm actually going to be doing a Honey Heist one-shot over on the Lost Caravan at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. And you should come check that out if you want to see me be a big bear called Char Cutie. Yeah. And then on Sunday, you can catch me playing Call of the Netherdeep over on Fool's Moon EI at 3 p.m. Pacific. After that, we have Wednesday. I'm going to be playing Tales from the Flood on Party Wipe Games at 1 p.m. Pacific. And then I'm going to be back here on Friday. And it should be an amazing time. Make sure you come back.
Excellent. Yay! Awesome. Thanks so much. It's really cool. Just basically, Katrina is cool. Is just there's no two ways about it. Just very awesome. And now, alas, we are going to be saying goodbye to Shade, as this was unfortunately the last episode he was going to be able to be with us for this arc. So we are going to head over to Shade. Thank you so much for playing with us.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, I'm Shade. Thank you. Thanks a lot for inviting me to this game. This episode was, I liked it like a lot. Thanks to Tamsin for saving our hustle, and to Katrina for making some very interesting, I don't know, can you say it, like word fighting episodes? But it was like, I don't know, some creating some in-character tensions. I love that. And Isabel again saved us all. I mean, all the nightmares in these games are super nice.
Yeah,
and
we're so
also-
lucky.
Yeah. And Carl was not with us here, but she made me a reading. They made me a reading, and well, I'm not. So I think so. The reading was that I need, like Tyler needed to trust somebody, kind of something like that, and it would help.
Yeah.
I guess Mr. Triple F Wade appeared to be this guy who Tyler trusted. Let's see what happened. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Jim, thanks you. I mean, you kind of made it all happen. That was cool. It's a shame that I have to leave early, but I hope I'll be able to jump in sometime in the future. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for playing. It was neat being able to see this bit of the story through into an interesting conclusion for me anyway. For Tyler. And yeah, who knows what's going to happen in the future. But for the meantime, Tyler has made it out. To where, we're not entirely sure, but he's made it out.
He's sitting in the lobby of like some Fortune 500 company, like,
yeah.
All right, you're gonna work for us now.
I know, right?
Probably.
Here's your new burden. All right. Yeah. And I was trying. I did go back and I reread the. I rewatched that fortune telling scene between Cal and Tyler to see if there was anything I wanted to scrape up. And there were some things I tried to throw in thematically, but basically it was an issue of trying to deal with your isolation, dealing with your burden, and trying to see if you would trust someone. And sadly, you ended up trusting a nightmare, but still, got you out.
All the nightmares here are super nice. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all
nightmares
of them
are so nice in this city.
Yeah, for sure.
They're very nice. Nice people. But once again, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. Twitter for as long as it's going to be around. I don't know if it's going to be around much longer. But I am also OtherDoc in most other spaces, and where I'm not OtherDoc, I am Jim, Yes That Jim. So let's see, what have we got going on? On Monday, we have the other group, the Inner Circle, will be reappearing, and we'll find out what they are up to. They had ended up being trapped on the edge of the grid, so at the end of last session. So we're going to see what happens there. On Tuesday, we should, if the stars align properly, we should have the finale of our short campaign of Cult Divinity Lost. Hollow has been an excellent GM. It's been awesome to play. I've really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to see how it ends. And finally, on Friday, 1 week from today, provided once again we're all good for it, then we'll be returning to the Outer Veil, and as we steer toward, we get closer to the end of this arc. It's we're getting closer to it, and I'm very interested to see what the group does now that its dynamic is changing a bit. So very much looking forward to that. So when we hit the end card, I'm going to probably send a raid over to somebody. There are a few people doing various things right now. Let's see, Trooper is streaming, Valdranth is streaming, Barkley Kiss is streaming, Valentine Wolf is streaming. I might actually raid them. I've just finally followed them. Musicians. We'll see kind of what's going on here. I'll raid somebody. Feel free to hang on if you're so inclined and say hi to them with us. That will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will see you next time.
Next time, y'all.
Farewell.